So?
Well, obviously, as show business personalities, we need absolutely no introduction.
But what you probably don't know is that in our spare time, we're both special constables. Join us tonight in a unique crime-busting special, live from Headlow Police Station.
Welcome to Police 4, Channel 4 belatedly facing its responsibility to bring the stench of today's all-too-sickening crime into your living room.
Let's stop all crime now. The police need help.
The kind of help that only a special constable can provide. That's why we're doing our bit. But what are you doing? Yes, you, fatty, slouching there, quietly masturbating over the thought of us two in swimsuits. Well, tonight, you could enroll as special constables in the world's biggest ever TV interactive swearing-in.
And that's just for starters. Tonight we talk to victims of fraud.
Britain's toughest TV tech.
I want rid of it. A hood uncovered.
We investigate car crime.
We solve crime live on air.
We talk to the real cracker.
And will this be used by the end of the programme?
First, a reconstruction. Last Tuesday, a man walked into a pub somewhere and did this. May seem like a harmless prank, but when broken, the innocent whiskey bottle becomes deadly glass. Jog your memory? Perhaps you've already forgotten what I did. Here it is again.
Remember now? Perhaps it was you who committed the crime. If so, give yourself up. Don't be a fool. Who are you protecting? Who's the Mr. Big behind the operation? If you have any information about that crime or any other, call now on our Crime Busters hotline.
Maybe you're the victim of a crime. Maybe you know someone who's committed a crime, or seen someone you just don't like the look of.
He came at me from behind.
Now, you'll have noticed that the officer who helped in that reconstruction made two fatal errors. One, he failed to tense his stomach muscles at the point of impact. And two, he did it again. Of course, although they play a vital role in TV reconstructions, unprovoked violent assaults are quite rare.
But for Christ's sake, please always remember to lock your doors and windows before retiring to bed. Remember, most domestic crimes occur in the home.
Whilst out in a public place, try to look confident.
Have you ever thought of taking up smoking? It's surprising how tough cigarettes can make you look.
Even if you don't inhale, some girls will let you touch them upstairs outside.
Psychology is a key factor. If you look as though you don't start trouble, but you know how to finish it, people will think twice before cutting you up and leaving your head in a public toilet.
On a happier note...
And that does happen.
It's all right. On a happier note, let's meet WPC April Panisar, who is Human Interest and Pets Liaison Officer here at Headlow.
Thank you, Jeremy. And since we've been on air, our station appeal to send Sefton, the blind police donkey, on a water skiing holiday has raised almost £4,000.
Keep those pledges coming in. The lines are open.
And we also received the sad news that Puffin, the Surrey Constabulary's oldest serving Alsatian, died this week of a broken heart.
Many of you will remember the hilarious moment in 1967 when Puffin bit the testicles off a Blue Peter presenter and then shat helplessly over a group of singing brownies.
Loved by millions, Puffin for years was the scourge of the seedy underworld, but at home with his handler, he was just another part of the family. Other parts of the family were later found dismembered in the back garden.
Well, as we always used to say, you can give a dog a bone, but in Puffin's case, watch out for your face.
Of course, dogs like bones, but one thing they don't like is being locked in a car on a baking hot day with the windows up and the engine running in a garage. Isn't that right, April?
Yes, and they're frightened of fireworks.
Nonetheless, animals do play a vital role in the fight against crime. Some of you may have thought of becoming a policeman, but I wonder how many of you have thought of becoming a police horse.
So, April, I think it's fair enough to say that you're Asian and a police officer and a woman to boot. No problems there then. Good. In countries other than Britain, like Asia, the police are allowed to carry machine guns. Not only is it much warmer there, but crime itself is virtually a thing of the past. Crazily, our own bobbies in blue aren't armed.
Indeed, whenever the police are given guns, trendy people start whining about unarmed citizens being shot dead. It was only a replica weapon has become the anthem of the bleeding hearts. Well, faced with a life-threatening split-second decision, could you tell the difference between this And this? Here's one tired and overstretched police officer who had to make that decision.
I told you, never surprise me. I'm highly trained.
Going on holiday?
You'll be robbed.
Following our reconstruction, there's been an unfortunate spate of copycat incidents. Now, I'd like to point out that we are trained to hit people properly, so please don't attempt to reconstruct things you've seen reconstructed in reconstructions.
In addition to our roles as super special part-time cops, Jack and I also act as counsellors here at the Fraud Victim Support Group at Headlow. Don't we, April?
Yes.
Earlier today, the group met to share their tales of deception and dishonesty. To protect their identity, we didn't tell them they're being filmed.
We were holidaying in Spain when we were approached by a very clean man who said that we could purchase a share in the country and visit it as often as we wanted. Sounded wonderful. So we paid the deposit and 12 monthly payments included. Luckily, the total came to the exact amount of money that we had told him we had saved away. About £8,500. When we went to Madrid to appoint the new president and present the papers to prove that we were the official owners of Spain, they said we weren't. And under closer examination, the deeds turned out to be a postcard.
Sickening news coming in now of a particularly pointless crime. April.
Thieves have broken into the home of the Marquis of Headlow and stolen £2 million in cash. Obviously, this is of no particular use to the robbers, but was of great sentimental value as it was a gift from his father. Can you help us with our investigation into the circulation of forged £10 notes throughout the England area? We know that a man wearing medium clothes and wearing trainer-style shoes used several forged notes in this cafe. Fortunately, the cashier at the cafe raised the alarm and our joker slipped out of the toilet window, leaving this jacket behind.
Now, it's an extremely distinctive jacket, and police are obviously keen to interview anyone who plays for the New York Yankees and was in the Headlow area last Tuesday.
Well, hopefully we'll get a result on that by the end of the show. Now, there's nothing worse than a bad cop. Luckily, they only exist in TV dramas. Someone who's never questioned the unfettered might of a police force out of control is actor-singer-songwriter Jimmy Hard. Here he is in the series Hard Man.
Right, I want full battle. I want marksmen on the roofs. I want helicopter surveillance. And I want the Niger Lithgow dancers on standby.
Gav, it's the DA's office. He says the Ministry of Police can't sanction the use of field artillery in domestics. He's got the Crown Prince of some made-up African country visiting written as it would look bad.
Well, you can tell the pen pushers I'm handing me budge. I'm going it alone.
Did you get all that? Yeah, I think he definitely meant it this time. After a busy day's filming his new series, Space Cult 2010, Jimmy sat down for a chinwag with his old mate. Me, Jimmy. Thanks for squeezing me into your hectic schedule.
Ah, you're welcome, Jack. It's good to see you venture out of the pampered world of the Carnaby Street paparazzi. I hate all those arty bastards like Melvin Bragg and Ed Stewart who sit around the corridors of power drinking Pompeian. I'd like to take them round to me nan's house in Gateshead and show them the filth and squalor of that woman's underwear.
Your last series was called Hard Man, and the new series is Space Cult 2010, in which you play a similar character, also in fact called Hard Man. Let's take a look at you in action.
Oh. Right, I want full battle. I want androids on the roof. I want shuttlecraft surveillance. And I want loads of leggy replicant birds on standby.
Gav?
What is it, you testicle-headed puff?
It's Princess Leia on a television.
Well, tell her just because I shagged her once doesn't make her me girlfriend.
He says just because he shagged you once doesn't make...
Wait. I've had an idea. Leave it out, pet. I've got a planet to save. Trust us, just put this on. It's a psychokinetic communication belt. It senses trouble. The moment one of them silvery bastards even touches you, I'll give him a right twatting.
Hello, Jimmy.
What is it, Hal?
Data now available on Venusians.
Well, give us it, you swatty bastard.
Venusian life form can only be destroyed by extreme sexual energy.
Sexual energy? Give us a name and Cosmo number of the bloke with the biggest tackle in the universe. I don't believe it. I don't believe it.
Uncharacteristically for you, Jimmy, not actually shot in Newcastle.
That's right, actually. I decided to do the whole thing here in space because I just wanted to give something back to the community. There's a lot of unemployment out here in the further reaches of the galaxy, you know.
You wrote the series yourself, you directed and produced it yourself, you played all the parts and some of the scenery. You're a singer, a songwriter, a poet, a motor mechanic, you can swim underwater, you're double-jointed and you can make ships. You know, what on earth do your kids think of all of this?
Well, I've always tried to teach my kids two things. To speak and don't mess with drugs, because I made that mistake when I was their age, 7, 4 and 19 months. Because I never had a dad to show us right from wrong, because I was created by a mad scientist, and it was only when I was able to escape from the laboratory that I could audition for the Newcastle Youth production of Oklahoma.
You always seem to play hard characters.
Well, you might say hard by name and hard by nature.
Except that's not your real name, is it?
What do you mean, like?
Well, you changed your name slightly, didn't you? Apparently it's Susan. Susie. Sue?
Well, you have to change your name when you join equity. Like, you know, if someone has the same name as you, you have to change your name.
So there's an actress called Susan Hard, is there?
Not exactly.
Perhaps you could tell us all what your real name is.
Susan Hampshire.
I'm sorry?
Susan Hampshire.
Susan Hampshire?
Spelled different.
You grew up with the name Susan Hampshire, so what, were you popular as a child, or do you have to impersonate a girl to get by?
Sometimes.
Turn tricks, did you? Lift your skirt for a tenner and a bag of chips?
Sometimes, yeah.
Jimmy Hard, family entertainment the way it used to be.
Well, before we go into the break, here's your chance to become a special PC. By the powers invested in me by television itself, I can enroll you.
Are you sure about this?
Shut up, mother. You ruined everything, you bitch. Place your hand upon the screen and repeat these words. I do pledge loyalty to the forces of good in their battle with the evil empire of Catwoman. So help me God.
Join us after the break, and please don't be overly worried by violent criminals. You're far more likely to be murdered by the person sitting next to you now.
April, any news on our missing New York Yankee?
Oh, well, Jack, we're working on
What?
Well, Gov.
Thank you.
We're working on the theory that the man may not be an American baseball player, but may in fact have purchased the jacket from a shop.
Ah, charming theory.
Coffee?
Now, if you have any information... Oh, hello, girls. What have you been brought in for, as if I can't guess?
It's the DI's birthday.
All right. As I was saying, if you have any information about that, please don't be afraid to call us. It's worth remembering that if you do give evidence, you can expect police protection, as this former criminal found.
You could say I was a hood, a hoodlum, a gangster. Numbers, protection, narcotics. From time to time just whacking a guy because they look funny. It got to a point where you had to whack a guy before they whack you. Got so crazy no one knew who was whacking who. Pretty soon there'd be no one left to whack. That's when I knew I had to get out. So I met a lieutenant. Tells me about the witness protection program. He asked me will I wear a wire. Says if I testify, I'll be protected, relocated, have a new identity. I was promised a new life in a new place. Somewhere the mob would never find me. So that's how I came to be working in a tea room in Devon. Good afternoon. May I recommend our traditional Devon cream tea? It's pot of tea for two, finger sandwiches, 4 scones, clotted cream, and a choice of 5 homemade jams.
Oh, that sounds lovely. What about apricot jam?
That would be nice.
Or strawberry?
Or damson.
Are you fucking with me?
I'm sorry.
You're sorry. Fuck you. Fuck you and your damson.
Raspberry, then.
Certainly. Earl Grey tea or English breakfast?
Actually, I wouldn't mind coffee.
Are you busting my balls? It's a fucking cream tea. Did I say it was a cream coffee? Hey, did I say cream coffee?
Now, look, there's no need for that language.
I'm sorry. Please. Join your lovely wife. Have whatever you want. Hey, Mildred!
Just a minute.
Yeah, get your fucking ass over here. Give these people whatever they want, okay? They're my friends, right?
Excuse me, could I order, please?
Suck my dick! Reverend, I'm sorry, please. What would you like? How are you? I love this guy. He's my friend. Is he looking well? He's looking well, isn't he? After work, I like to play cards at the Old Folks Day Center. Helps me unwind. Everyone in the village has been very kind to me, accepting me, although none of them have any idea about my past. Sorry, ladies. Hate to do this to you. Come on. What's this? Where's the gold? Where's the goddamn gold? Come on, old-timer, where's the gold?
Shut up, Polly.
Okay. Tell you what I'm gonna do. I like you. You're my friend. Give me your teeth. Just dry them first, for Christ's sake.
Well, a charming postscript to that story. Just seconds ago, we've received a call from a couple of old chums of Paulie. They say they miss him. They've been looking all over England for him. So, Knuckles and Mad Tommy, here's the number on screen. Let's hope you're still watching and you catch up with Paulie and enjoy that fishing trip.
Yeah, one of the nicer aspects of the job, Jeremy, being able to reunite old pals. No one loves the grass. Many ordinary members of the public correctly complain that if they were given the job of deciding who looks like a probable criminal and how they should be executed, we'd have real justice.
Yes, if sentencing was in the hands of those public-spirited citizens who stand outside courts banging police vans and shouting, "Hang the bastard," we'd hear a lot less from the wrongly convicted.
Sadly, in this country, capital punishment is considered not such a capital idea by the salad and fondue brigade. But in the United States, death is alive and kicking. So this is the part of the show where you, the viewer, get to decide the future of a prisoner on death row.
Raoul is 23, a Sagittarian. He likes leisure activities and enjoys cooking. He hopes to open his own restaurant one day.
Fat chance of that is he's on a murder rap and his life is in your hands. Call now with your decision on these numbers. Towards the end of the show, we'll be able to tell you whether Raoul has been spared or chaired.
Is he spared or chaired? Is he spared or chaired? Flip the switch now, watch it switch now, fly until he's dead.
And now,
where are you, Smeggers?
Oh, I'm down here in the basement having a look around. Let's have a look in here. Hello? No. Come on, come here, keep up. Let's have a look in here. Hello, come on, come on. Hey, mind that. Sorry. Hello, where from, Sally? Hello? Oh dear, called at the wrong time. Ooh. Come on. Hello. Hello, what are you up to?
Just sort of making a statement.
Have you been a naughty boy?
No, I'm the detective in charge of the case.
I thought the suspect made the statement.
Out, you scaff toilet!
Okay, thanks so much. Hey, you might want to look in on him. He looks a bit down in the dumps. Come back here, look. This is the Chief Super's office. Let's pay him a bit of a visit now. He doesn't know we're coming in. Someone else upstairs told me he's a funny old so-and-so. So let's find out what they mean. Come on.
I saw a woman mounted on a scarlet beast who had 7 heads and 10 horns.
I know someone like that.
Full of obscenities and the foulness of her fornication. I shall strike down upon thee, and you will know my name is the law when I lay my vengeance upon you.
Can we see your underpants?
We're here in the forensic science lab at Hedlow, finding out how the modern police force fights crime. With us is Dr. David Lewis, Professor of Offender Profiling. Now, earlier we heard about the Marquis of Hedlow robbery. It's a measure of the seriousness with which we're taking this offence that we've already given the criminal a nickname, the Robber. So, Doctor, psychologically speaking, what kind of man is the Robber?
Obviously, someone who has no qualms about breaking the law. Someone who likes money. Very much the opposite to the Gandhi-type figure who eschews all wealth. He could walk into his corner store, throw £2 million onto the counter and say, how many Brillo pads will this buy?
What turns a man like this to crime?
Well, he could have broken in hoping to borrow a Vileda super mop. Seen the money and thought, hello, I'll have that. And that was it. He was off with it.
So, it sounds as though we're getting closer to the robber, whoever he may be.
All too sickeningly nowadays, car crime is very much on the uptake.
Now, when we say car crime, we don't just mean the occasional tipsy celebrity ploughing into bus queues.
What we're talking about is something far more menacing than the threat to human life. Obviously, people can be replaced.
Loss of property, on the other hand, can be very distressing.
So what can you, Mr. Man stroke woman in the street, do to protect your nearest and dearest belongings?
Roger, you're car crime prevention officer here at Headlow. Tell me, what kind of mistakes do stupid members of the public make?
Well, you'd be amazed at how many drivers lock their cars in the garage and still expect it to be there in the morning.
Sadly, such an idealised scenario, very much a thing of the past.
Yes. It's worth remembering, however, that 9 times out of 10, that's exactly what will happen. But that's poor consolation on the one morning when you come down and find a bunch of severed limbs on your parcel shelf.
Oh, what are the chances of that happening?
Well, fortunately, that never happens. But that's not to say it won't happen to you.
You mentioned me, and that's my car. I hope there aren't any severed limbs in it. But you tell me it is still vulnerable, and you're going to show me, with your little box of tricks here, how an experienced thief can get into the car in less than 4 seconds without even damaging the lock. So I'm going to hold you to that. I've got a stopwatch, so ready when you are, and go! For? What about picking the lock?
I think you've been watching too much Hollywood on television.
What, is that the extent of your expertise? I could have bloody broken the window.
Hardly likely to break into your own car now, are you, sir?
I can't believe that.
I think you need to fit an alarm on that.
Oh, shut up.
And now, the moment we've all been waiting for. Will Raoul be spared or chaired? Raoul, mate, how are you feeling?
I am innocent.
Well, that may not be enough for the British public. April, the result, please.
Well, Jeremy, nearly 250,000 of you have phoned in to say Raoul should fry, and 3 have called in to say it's an abomination.
Oh, Raoul, what can I say?
Oh, hang on a minute, Jeremy. Raoul has been reprieved. An alibi witness has come forward. There will be now execution. Repeat, now execution.
So, to recap, bit of an upset there. It does turn out, after all, Raoul is innocent.
Yeah, so is my car!
People like us who are good and law-abiding
should never be found half-eaten in a railway siding.
People like us who want to fight crime
shouldn't be knocked down in our driveways
by some drunk at closing time.
So help us to convict this criminal slime.
People like us should never be found
divided up in bin bags on a patch of waste ground.
People like us shouldn't be gagged and bound.
People like us are living in dread.
The youngsters high on drugs will try and mug us in bed. Let's hope we put a stop to crime before we end up dead.
Let's put an end to crime. Let's see the bastards fall to time. Let's beat crime on the street. Let's put an end to crime tonight. Let's put an end to crime. Let's see the bastards all to time. Let's beat crime on the street. Let's put an end to crime.
You're nicked.